What is up, YouTube? John here from Forte. Happy New Year. We are going to play some disc golf this morning on this kind of foggy mid-morning here on New Year's. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of holes on one of my favorite courses in the area. This is the Platteville Campus Course, and kind of reflect on what 2024 did for us, what our goals are for 2025. Just kind of get to know what I'm thinking of for next year. So 2024 was not a bad year, but not a great year either. So hopefully I can kind of turn some things around there. Kind of go through the year a little bit at a time here. Right now, let's just throw hole one here. All right, so hole one's about 270 feet away, just beyond the big tree in the middle there. I'm gonna go with one of my new favorite molds of 2024, the Castplast E-Dug. All right, a little short, but it's up there in putting range. All right, we got a nice little circle 2 putt here to get things kicked off. That was close. All right, good little par to start the day off. So as some of you may have remembered, 2023 I was part of the Lone Star Ranger team. So 2024 came around and ended that part of my deal. So I wanted to make sure that I was building a bag with the best possible outcome. So I really tried a whole variety of different molds, tried different courses with different shot shapes. The beginning part of the season was really focused on trying to get the best bag built possible that with the disc that I had and the confidence that I knew I could put on the course. So trying a ton of different molds is really what I was focusing on. So broke it down into putters, and then would go and play a course with just the putters that I had narrowed down to. Then we did mids, same concept, playing courses in the area that were mid-friendly holes that I could test out all the different molds that I was kind of thinking of on multiple different shots, shapes, to try and really get the best disc that was going to be for me. I still have the concept of like wanting to try new discs as they come out, so that makes it still challenging as you're trying to focus on a bag for tournament play versus fun. I do think that the bag that I had this season was one of the better bags that I've built over the past couple years for my game, or so I thought at the beginning of the season. We'll get into that later. All right, so hole 2, 175 feet, double mando through the 2 trees there. Let's go with the zone. Basket slightly to the left. Circle 1 putt, I believe, with that shot. Pretty decent look here for hole 2. There we go. So the first couple tournaments that we played proved to kind of be a little bit of a challenge, but really started to get my stride in the early summer, where I actually took a win here in MA2 right on this very course here in Platteville. So that was really a good stride for confidence building going into some of the later tournaments. I had a Big 8 here at Des Moines just like a couple weeks later, and we'll get into that one here in a couple holes, but that one and even a couple tournaments. But overall, I do think that learning a single bag is a good strategy for building confidence on the course, and I do think that there's still some improvements to be made on this bag that I have right now currently, and I've been kind of doing some different things to try and make that work better. And so later in this video I'll kind of talk about what my plan is going to be for 2025 to hopefully find the best tools possible for my game going into this next season. All right, jumping ahead here, this is hole 4. It's sign says about 357. I would say that's probably closer to like 330-ish, but basket right up in there. So pretty downhill on this shot. We're gonna go with the Axiom Rhythm. Just get a nice hyzer, hopefully get a nice like little bit of a hyzer flip up just straight at it. All right, pretty short shot. All right, big circle 2 putt here. Ooh, I would take that. All right, so like I said, came off of had a nice win here back in June, and a week later was set to play the Des Moines Challenge amateur side, so a big A-tier event. I'm one to play depending on the tournament. This tournament here, I played MA2 just because I knew that I think I stood a shot with the people that were competing in that event. Whereas Des Moines, I knew that going into the Des Moines Challenge, I didn't really stand a chance of putting myself in contention. And part of the thing is that I really wanted to play Pickard Park. And the only way you can play Pickard Park is if you were MA1. So I chose MA1 for that tournament simply based on the courses that I wanted to play. And I think I may have bit off a little more than I can chew. Pickard Park absolutely ate me up. It was hot, it was hard course. I had only had like one practice round out there before that, leading up to that tournament. So one of the worst like rounds that I had played in a long time. Not worst rated, but definitely one of the like worst experiences I think I'd had in a disc golf tournament round. So was not feeling very good that tournament. So after Des Moines Challenge, went to play in another favorite event of mine over the summer at a temp course set up in Cedar Rapids, and was in first place first round. So feeling really, really good, really confident. Shot one of my highest rated rounds ever in a tournament, you know, and then just kind of slept up some shots on the second round to still cash, but not place, not win that tournament. So was, you know, still trying to figure some things out. And that brings us to close to the end of the summer, Titan Open in Cedar Rapids. We'll get to that here in just a second. But first, let's throw a hole. All right, so hole 7 here, like 230. It is kind of hard to see here, as you can see the basket right there through the trees in the middle. So big turnover shot for me. I'm gonna throw my MVP Watts. Really tight. This is a really tight shot for me, almost a standstill, but just try and get that right angle so I can get around that corner through this tree gap, this initial tree gap, and just keep the disc coasting all the way to the left there. And you gotta throw it at the right angle. That was not the right angle. There is a gap for a putt, but it'd be a long putt. So we're gonna take the safer route here. Nice soft zone shot. Yeah, there we go. So like I said on the last hole, Titan Open, Cedar Rapids. So again, one of those tournaments where I wanted to play. I simply wanted to play the courses that were offered in MA1, so that's where I went. Round 1 had one of the worst putting tournaments of my disc golf career so far. Just everything was so close to going in, but not quite there. I was just feeling not confident with them anymore, and just having the worst luck. I was putting with Discraft Challengers, and I've been putting with those for a couple of years now, and they just all of a sudden, like, I don't know, I was just having not a lot of confidence with them. I did something that I never thought I would do in a tournament, and I decided that round 2 I was going to change my putters. So during the Titan Open Players Pack, we received these CT Kratos putters, and absolutely was just loving these when I initially got one. So decided, hey, like, let's try and change up putters and stuff. Second round was going pretty well until the back 9, when I just really fell apart on holes like 10 through 14. I think I shot like 7 or 8 strokes over par in those like 4 holes. So again, not a great tournament experience. So decided that it was time for a change after that. So we'll talk about that on the next hole. Right now we're gonna play hole 10, my favorite hole on the course. 195 feet straight downhill. Just an absolute fun hole to always try and ace run. We're gonna ace run it with a bird. Not quite hard enough. Park though. Can't go wrong with that. All right, so after that terrible experience in the end of July, I decided that it was time for a little bit of a change. So I went and dug out some oldies, some goodies, some new stuff. Anything that wasn't what was in my current bag as of right now, just to try and have fun again with disc golf. I was in a bad mood. I had brought my rating up and almost was about to hit my goal, and then just had a couple of bad tournaments that brought it back down. I knew I had one or two more at the end, towards the end of the summer, and so wanted to mix some things up, try some new discs out, see if any of those would work, and then kind of do a blending of bags, maybe to see what kind of is current here. So that was a lot of fun, just to kind of try out some new things, mix up your disc golf game. So I recommend that, if you're getting into kind of a funk with the bag that you have, don't be afraid to try out some new things. Don't be afraid to toss the whole bag aside, put it in a closet, grab a different bag out with a whole new batch of discs, and just start over. So I really did focus on that aspect in the early fall, and just trying to make it so that I was having fun again. And that was very helpful towards my my mental game. All right, jumping ahead, we got hole 12 here, about 295 feet, slightly uphill at the end. So like I said, trying out those new discs. One of the ones that I did get to try out and was really starting to like is the MVP Trail. This disc is pretty cool. Not as understable as I thought it would be out of the box, but it slowly gets in there as we go. So here we go. A little shorter than I thought. That one I would compare. I'll throw the one that I would compare it to in my bag, which is my ESP Onyx. For me, the Onyx just holds a little bit better of that line out there. All right, so one of the things that I really liked about the Kratos is it's a little faster than the Challenger, a little glidier, I even feel like, than the Challenger. So I feel like putts like this, where I'm outside a circle, I really don't have to work as hard to get these to go a little further. And put a little more pop on them, and they go a little easier towards the basket. They're really nice. So to kind of finish out the year, last couple tournaments that I played after the summer, again, were not some of my greatest tournaments. I think some life things with a little bit of aggravating injuries sacrificed a little bit on my form. So finished the year, sadly, 2 points lower rating than I started the year. So never did reach my goal. Kind of had some ups and downs throughout the year. So 2025, really going to focus hard on less tournaments, more practice, more form, work, things that we'll talk about here in a couple holes. Right now, hole 14, again, jumped ahead. Just kind of playing 9 of my favorite holes out here that are probably the easiest filmable ones for the most part. Hole 14, 190 feet, straight ahead, hill to the left that goes downward, so you got to be really careful that you don't kind of follow that hill line. I'm going to go with this 2021 Paul Macbeth Luna. Really like the stability on this Luna. And feels very similar to a Kratos, obviously, since the Kratos is just a Luna with a bead. But really like this for a nice, just simple putter shot. And that slid right up to the basket, I believe. All right, so goals for 2025, like I said, one is to kind of hopefully improve my health, change my diet, improve my strength, improve my cardiovascular, just overall try and be a healthier person, keep my endurance up on the course, because that is kind of where I found that some of my worst tournament rounds happened when it was a difficult course and it was really like struggling on the back, 5-6 holes of a round, where it made things difficult. So that's gonna be goal number one. Goal number two, just really focus on my form, really lock in, trying to get that backhand improvement. I know I've got a big rounding problem. Every time I watch myself on film, I always see it, and I'm like, I need to focus on fixing that. We're gonna do some different challenges just for myself. So we're gonna focus less on tournament play this year. Still play a couple tournaments, try and pick and choose my favorite ones to play throughout the year. But overall, really not focus more on tournaments and focus more on practicing. With that, it's going to be coming some vlogs throughout the year, because I've got a fun idea for 2025 to kind of do some single manufacturing bags for certain time periods, leading up to tournament plays with those bags. But really give a shot of like, hey, what's it like to throw all Innova discs for 30 days or Innova made discs for 30 days, and kind of document my challenge or my month with that, and then move on to another manufacturer. Pick and choose like my favorite molds from each manufacturer, and then kind of put those together into a single bag that would become my tournament bag for the following years. Because starting in 2026, I will be able to start playing an age protected MA40. My hope is that in my 40s to be able to get up to like kind of an MP40 possibility. I know that's going to be challenging, considering I know who also is turning 40 in the next couple of years. So could see MP40 being like a challenge, but maybe in the local regional area be able to kind of compete at that level. So those are kind of some of my ambitions this next year. So hopefully you'll be able to follow along on that journey with me. Okay, so we are on hole 16 here. Jumped ahead a little bit. So basket is right through there. Now, as you can see, probably guess, in the summertime, those trees are pretty full of foliage. So those branches, that gap is really tight there in the middle towards that basket. So I tend to go above the trees there up to that basket. So we're gonna try that today. Another really, really underrated mold, or another good mold that came out this year, is the Innova Racer. Really am liking this mold. I compare it to like a pretty beat-in destroyer. So we're gonna try going over the tree and just try and get it to dive right down to the basket, or at least in the middle. Not quite nose down enough, but we are in the middle of the fairway. All right, we're gonna throw this berg in, hopefully. Ooh, that was close. Not really, that was so short. Really do appreciate that if you've stuck around up to this point. It means a lot to me. We're gonna finish out hole 18 here, about 260. We actually don't play from the pad just because that slope is awful. So we actually play from this little concrete pathway behind it. I'm gonna go with the DGA Quick here on this nice, just flat release. Let it kind of hyzer back to the basket. All right, a little short, but not terrible. All right, and that is going to do it for this round. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a comment down below. What is your goal for 2025, or what are you going to do in 2025 to make disc golf more fun? All right, so we will catch you in the next one. Thanks, peace.